Hello friends, good morning. I am Sumati. Welcome to my channel Edutainment. Friends, today we are going to discuss about constructivist approach. Whatever I am discussing here, it is not only for the mathematics pedagogy. You can write these things in your science pedagogy, means physical science pedagogy, because all are like similar. All theoretical part are similar in case of mathematical pedagogy and physical science pedagogy. Only difference is all process are similar. You have to write the all kinds of theory same as math pedagogy in physical science, but only difference is example. When you will give the example in mathematics science, then you have to give the examples from mathematics, and when you will be give exam on the physical science examination, then you have to give the example from the science. Okay, constructivist approach, it is from your unit second unit. And constructivist approach, there are different approaches under coming constructivism, and like self learning, there will be self learning, peer learning, collaborative learning, 5P model, icon model. I will discuss with you all those points, those topics and another next new videos, but today I am going to discuss about constructivist, because before going to know about constructivist approaches, you have to know what is the meaning of constructivist and how it came and what is the background. All like overall we have to discuss here overall things regarding constructivist approach. So let's see. Constructivism. Theory of constructivism is generally attributed to Jean Piaget, who articulated mechanisms by which knowledge is internalized by learners. He suggested that through process of accommodation and assimilation, individuals construct new knowledge from their experiences. Friends, constructivism approach or constructivism, we can say that the founder of constructivism is Jean Piaget, and who articulate mechanisms by which knowledge is internalized by learners. Constructivism says that knowledge can be constructed by the student only and by the help of their past experience. Basically, what is the meaning of constructivism? If anyone will ask you, then you can say simply constructivism nothing but that word, that term constructivism says that construction. So construction of knowledge by the students from their past experience. But here, according to Jean Piaget, students can construct their knowledge through those two processes like accommodation and assimilation. So let's see what is the meaning of accommodations and meaning of assimilation. Assimilation. Assimilation occurs when a learner adds new information, basically layering it on top of the old. Accommodation occurs when a learner must change previously learned information before placement of new information is possible. Friends, assimilation says about when a student is going to learn something new things, and accommodation says that but student will know the new things, but with the help of existing previous knowledge. Means, for example, here assimilation occurs when someone incorporates new objects into the scheme, but accommodation occurs when the new object does not fit the existing scheme. Means, accommodation we can say that like for example we have said that in hostel accommodation, so we have to adjust there. Means, when new things will not be fit in your existing things, means your lifestyle, your way of living, everything will be changed when you will go to your hostel, because in your home lifestyle and hostel lifestyle are different. So in hostel lifestyle you have to we can say adopt new things. You have to make changes in your lifestyle, and there will be like timetable, fixed timetable. There will be like timetable for class, for reading, study. So some changes will come, and some things will be you find in your hostel life which are not fit for your lifestyle, like existing lifestyle. That is accommodation, means adjustment. But assimilation says that when someone incorporate new objects into the scheme, when you are incorporate or when you are intake in new objects into your scheme. I hope it is clear about assimilation and accommodation. Basically, accommodation, just keep in mind, accommodation means nothing but is only like adjustment, means when you are when you are getting new knowledge, when you are getting new experience which are not fit in your existing knowledge, because you have some knowledge regarding some concept before, and you will get new knowledge about that concept again, that will be new knowledge for you, and sometimes we feel face like that new knowledge will not fit for our previous knowledge. Characteristic of constructivist teaching. So here we will discuss about constructivist teaching. What are the characteristics of constructivist teaching? According to Audrey Gray, the learners are actively involved. As I told before, constructivism says about learners will be more active because learners have to construct their own knowledge with the help of their past experience. Means we can say that in constructivism more focus is on contextualization and the previous knowledge, because what the level of knowledge of understanding the student, a teacher can identify when teacher can get the knowledge about their previous knowledge. If a student will have like good knowledge on the previous chapter or previous classes, then teacher can identify or correlate the previous knowledge with the current situation, current knowledge. So here the learner's role is pure active, and teacher will only guide them, only give direction as a helper, as a friend, but learner will construct their own knowledge by the helping of their previous knowledge. That's why learners are actively involved here. The environment is democratic. As learners are actively here, so no doubt environment will be democratic. The activities here, environment will be democratic means every student has right to share their thinking, their ideas with peers, with teachers, with the own self, also self-learning individual, etc. We can say that that's why environment is democratic. Then the activities are interactive and student-centered, no doubt, because in this the interaction between, here interactive does not says about the interaction between the student and teacher only. Here interaction says about the interaction may be happen between the student means peer groups, or student teacher also, or the student individual also. So it should be interactive. The activities whatever we will do in the classroom, it should be interactive and student centered, means teachers should not dominate teachers, and it should not be teacher centered like as teacher, whatever teacher will say students are mandatory to follow this. No, as students have to construct their own knowledge, so it is the whole duty of student to actively engage, and it should be student centered. The teacher facilitates a process of learning in which students are encouraged to be responsible and autonomous. Here the role of teacher will facilitate a process, like teacher will give a process, give an environment, such kind of environment where the learning can happen effectively. And teachers should provide the opportunity to each individuals for sharing their ideas. When students are encouraged, teachers should encourage the student to participate in activities. Teachers should motivate them, and the responsible of teachers should be like different kinds of like motivator, like encourage, like help them, so that, and one thing here is more important, students should be autonomous, means they should be autonomous about their ideas, about their thinking, about their activities, all kind of process whatever is going on in the classroom. For that, students should be autonomous. So friends, these are some characteristics about constructivist teaching. So many points are there regarding constructivist teaching, like as you understand the term constructivism, the meaning of constructivism, then you can add more points also. Next, see how a constructivist classroom should be. Question arises here, if constructivism meaning is construction of knowledge by the student by the help of their own experience, then question is how a constructivist classroom should be. Means a constructivist classroom, what should be the structure of classroom constructivism classroom, what should be the role of teacher, what should be the role of student, etc. A constructivist classroom environment provides opportunity for students to question the material being presented and explore various topics as their interest. As students are more students will be more active here. So a constructive classroom environment should be like that. It should give opportunity for each student to question, means to raise the hand and to question whatever is going on their mind, or whatever the doubt they have, they can ask the question and they can explore the various topics and their interest. According to their interest, they can engage in their activities, and they can also raise their questions, whatever is going on their mind and whatever doubt they have in the activities. The goal is to produce a democratic classroom environment that provides meaningful learning experiences for autonomous learner. I have already discussed this point in characteristics, that students should be autonomous learner and the classroom environment should be democratic classroom. Means there should not be like ruled by the teacher or ruled by the student. It should not be like the teacher-centric classroom, or it should not be dominated by the teacher. It should be democratic classroom. Means students have the right to ask any question to the teachers or peers also. The teacher and students share responsibility and decision making and demonstrate mutual respect. Here, both teacher and students have can share their responsibility and decision making and demonstrate mutual respect. Means teacher and student both have to have a mutual respect and for each other, and also they can share their responsibility. Then what should be the activities in constructivist classroom? So it was before we have discussed about like how a constructive classroom should be. Now we will discuss about what should be the activities in constructivist classroom. Means what kind of activities should be there in a constructive classroom. Means what kind of activities a teacher can do in the constructive classroom. What are those activities a teacher can, we can say if a teacher will do that activities, then we can say that classroom is based on the constructivist approach. For example, experiments, projects, field trips, films, class discussion, etc. Experiment, because in experiment teacher will guide and students are actively participate in experiment. And experiments, what happen, teacher guides and students participate, and they can ask their doubt also. They according to their interest they can take we can say that project also. So field trips is the practical knowledge where teacher will guide, teacher will facilitate, teacher will take the student to the field and they can get the practical knowledge. There will be a we can say positive interaction between teacher and student. There will be develop the students practical knowledge, we can say factual knowledge of the student. We can develop, increase their knowledge regarding field trips. Then films, teacher can films also is a constructivist approach, because by the use of films we can develop their factual knowledge and we can construct their knowledge, or student can construct their knowledge by films. Class discussion is more important, because in class discussion also if we will give the chance to the students like freely they can ask or they can share their ideas, then class discussion is we can say that one kind of much more important constructivist classroom or approach, because class discussion develop the confidence of the students. We can say it helps the students to develop their self-esteem, for reducing their fear, for reducing the fear regarding sharing their ideas to teachers. So these kind of skills can be developed by classroom discussion. So those are the some activities we can do in the classroom, and we can say that if we will do that kind of activities in the classroom, then it can be constructivist classroom. Then in constructivist classroom, what will be the role of teacher? Main focus of teachers should be on guiding students by asking questions and engaging them in activities. As I told, students' role will be like more, it should be student centered and students will be more active here. So only the role of teacher will how to give guide the students, and how to teachers should focus on different kinds of like how to engage them in different kinds of activities by asking the questions, or teacher can check their questions, check their knowledge by asking question regarding their previous knowledge. To prompt and facilitate discussions, means the role of teacher will be how to create a discussion forum like making groups, making pair, or giving any hint to discuss, or any trick to discussion, or anything like any activities, conduct any activities for the discussion, etc. Teacher can do to create an learning environment for student by motivating. Means if students, sometimes students have not interested in learning, so the role of teacher will be to create a learning environment for student by motivating them, by asking question, or by their teachers word. Also by motivating the students, teacher can create learning environment to accept what the student will say and rectify it. It's very important, because in a classroom what happen, teachers, most of the teachers don't listen to the students ideas, because they have only the intention to complete the syllabus within the time. So but the role of teacher in constructivist approach or constructivism, whatever the student is saying something regarding the concept, the teacher should accept it, whether it is wrong or it is right, but it's another matter. But first, students, whatever students say, teacher should accept and appreciate it. Then student, it is right or wrong, teacher will rectify it by saying the correct answer and by giving the explanation. But first duty of teacher is to accept whatever the student will say, to provide the materials required for any kinds of activities. For example, any project, any experiment will happen in the classroom, then the role of teacher will be to provide those kind of material which are required for that kind of activities, and whatever the materials required for any specific activities for the student, the teacher should provide them, so that the student should not face any problem during conducting that activities or participating in that activities. To provide opportunity to students for sharing their thinking, means role of teacher should be to provide opportunity to each student for sharing their thinking. Means whatever is going on their mind, in student mind, they should share, so that teacher can identify their doubt or their the learning gap in their mind. Because without knowing the what is going on in the mind of the student, teacher cannot be able to rectify those things. So it should be the role of teacher to provide equal opportunity to the students for sharing their thinking, so that teacher can find their strength and weakness regarding their learning. Benefits of constructivist approach in teaching. As we have discussed about, the constructivism says about construction of knowledge regarding by the help of the previous knowledge. So it is a student centered. So there are so many benefits of this approach. For example, promote divergent thinking. As students are actively involved in this process, so it helps in develop their divergent thinking. It helps them to think, rethink, and it helps them to mentally be strong. Children learn more and enjoy learning. As it is a children's or child centered, so children will participate according to their interest, and when teacher will motivate them, children will learn, and children will show their more interest in learning, and they can enjoy their learning, because it should not be like teacher centric or teacher dominated. They should not have any fear regarding teachers, like if I will say something, the teacher will punish me. So this kind of thinking will not be there, and children will free to share and to participate, so that they will enjoy learning. Boost the confidence of learner. Obviously it is a student centered, and student will develop the confidence of learning, because when students are doing themselves, then they can find the work or activities very interesting, and which develop their confidence to learn more. Promote collaborative learning. If something or some activities have been done with collaboration, means like pairing or group activities, then it will develop the collaborative learning, because through discussion we can get more knowledge than individual thinking. So because so many thinking will combine here, so this process will develop the collaborative learning. Gives ownership to students on what they learn, since learning is based on students. As I told, it is a purely student centered learning approach. So here students, we can say that they can take their ownership to own learning, and they can take their responsibility regarding their learning. Develop the students' abilities to knowledge through a variety of ways. Students' abilities, it develop the students' abilities because it develop the collaborative learning. It helps students to participately in the activities, and it develop the, we can say, divergent thinking. So different kinds of their mental activity will be more increased, and for that reason we can say that students' abilities will be developed, and they have so they are more interest in the learning, and they can we can say that use a variety of ways for testing something in their activities. So as we know, everything has a positive point and negative points. As we have discussed about some positive points, so let's see what are the limitations of this approach. Lack of structure. Some students require highly structured environments in order to able to excel. No doubt, because as we know, individual difference is there in our classroom. So a teacher should, we can say that in one time we cannot focus everything properly. So some students will be there who have, we can say that lack of structure may be a problem for them. They require maybe highly structured environment. They cannot be comfortable on that environment which are comfortable for others. So it can be a limitation. It can lead students to be confused and frustrated because they may not have the ability to form relationships and abstracts between the knowledge they already have and the knowledge they are learning for themselves. It is more important point. It is says about the students have some previous knowledge, right? Previous knowledge, but the students some have also abstract knowledge, and they don't know how to correlate that abstract knowledge with the current situation or current knowledge. So they have already knowledge, but they don't know how to connect those previous knowledge with the new knowledge or a new content. So it may be in constructivist approach, as students construct their own knowledge by the help of their previous knowledge. So it may be a problem for them, not for all. Some students will be there who can't connect or correlate, who can't correlate their previous knowledge with the current knowledge. So it can be a limitation for this constructivist approach. So friends, this is about constructivist approach I shared with you because in our syllabus there is a point constructivist approaches, and where we will get like self-learning, peer learning, 5P model and icon model. I will discuss with you later, but before that I thought I should discuss about constructivism, because you can write those things in your education paper also, and you can write those things in your both pedagogy, like when if you will get any question from constructivist approach like self-learning, peer learning, anything, then you can write those things in your introduction part. And you should have knowledge about constructivism so that you can correlate this knowledge in your different kinds of approaches. Like when you will discuss about 5P model or self learning or peer learning, you can correlate those things with these things, and it will helpful for you for cracking also any exam related to education, because constructivism is one kind of like who was the founder of this approach, like Jean Piaget. So some kind of question you can get from this approach or theory. Thank you. If you have any question, then you can raise your question on chat box, and please like, share and subscribe my channel so that you can update about my new videos and related to your pedagogy or education, any kind of videos you can get. So thank you, have a nice day.